A quick mini lesson on how to play a jazz blues chord progression in the key of B. A 1, 2, 3, 4, and... break that down. Okay, close look at the fretboard, taking this opportunity today to add another essential chord progression to your repertoire. This one primarily is being built from the major scale, in this case the key of B. Played here in this kind of 3-note per string position. And if we zero in on the first 6 notes, which we can call the first, second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth intervals, we'll find that those are the root notes for each of the main chords that we have inside of the progression. For example, the first note of the scale B can be played as a B7 chord. The second note of the scale can be harmonized as a minor 7th. The third note can be a minor 7 as well. The fourth can be played as a bluesy 9 chord, as can the fifth. Okay, so there's your 5 chord. And the 6th note of the scale can be played as this very intense, flavorful, dominant 7, flat 9 chord. Okay, so we're going to be learning all of those chords plus a few passing chords in between them. Okay, very good everybody. Now you hopefully understand the connection between the chord progression, the individual chords, and the major scale. It's one of the most important things for a musician to understand. Now we're jumping into learning the actual progression, following along using my tablature that you can print out at patreon.com/Swiftlessons. I'll be sure to add some audio samples there as well. Okay, so getting started with line number 1 of our tab, it's going to sound like this, starting with B7. 1, 2, 3, 4, E9, 2, 3, 4, B7, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And that gets you to line number 2. Okay, so that began with our 1 chord in the key of B. It's going to be a B dominant 7 chord. All right. With this version of the chord, I've got my thumb on the 7th fret of the low E string, my index finger on the 7th fret of the D string, my middle finger on the 7th fret B string, and my ring finger in between on the 8th fret of the G string. I've got my A string blocked and also my high E string blocked. This allows me to execute a strumming technique that we call comping. Alright, I'm just strumming down, 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 down. 1, 2, 3, 4. But for each of those strums, I'm gonna squeeze the fret in hand and then remove the pressure, but not contact with the strings. That's going to make sure that each of the strokes is nice and short. Okay, following that, we're gonna have a measure of the E9, the 4 chord. Alright, should sound like that. We've got the 7th fret of the A string, the 6th fret of the D string, and we're barring across the G string, B string, and high E string of the 7th fret. All right, same exact strumming technique. 1, 2, 3, 4. Before returning back to the B7 chord for another measure. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Now the final measure, a split measure between this 1 chord and a passing chord. Should sound like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, to get yourself to line number 2 of our tab. Okay, so we had the B7 chord shape for 2 strokes, 1, 2. Then we're just taking the 4 chord, E9, and playing it up 1/2 step as a transition to the 4 chord and our next line of tablature. You put all that together and we've got B7, 1, 2, 3, 4, E9, B7, B7, optional passing chord. All right, and then that drops us off to the E9 4 chord, getting started with line number 2 of our tab. Okay, so line 2 is going to sound like this now. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, B7. Okay, so that was one measure comping on the E9 chord. All right, then another passing chord. This one's very important, very cool. It's going to be an F diminished chord, or an F full diminished chord. I've got the 8th fret of the A string. I've got the 9th fret of the D string, the 7th fret G, and also the 9th fret of the B string. Now sometimes I just lazily bar my index finger across the strings, and that gives me contact with the G string. Okay, so that's an F diminished chord shape. You'll have that for one measure. It works as a connector to the 1 chord. Okay, so we had the 4 chord, 1, 2, 3, 4, F diminished, passing chord to the 1 chord. We're gonna have that for measure. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now the final measure of line 2 of our tab, we're gonna have another split measure. So 2 beats each. We're gonna have D sharp minor 7, 1, 2, and a G sharp 7 flat 9. Okay, so the D sharp minor 7, we've got the 11th fret of the E string. All right, we're gonna block the A string. Then we're going to bar our ring finger across the D string, G string, and B string of the same fret. Make sure that the high E string is also muted. All right, from there, we're going to play essentially the same 9 chord shape that we had before, except we're just going to make sure that the B string is flatted down 1/2 step. To do that, I've got my middle finger on the 11th fret of the A string. I've got the 10th fret of the D string. I've got my ring finger on the 11th fret of the G string, and then I'm going to use my index finger as a bar to grab the 10th fret of the B string. All right, that's a G sharp note, making this a G sharp 7 flat 9. All right, now we put all that together and we have line number 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, F diminished, B7, D sharp, G sharp. Okay, now let's see if we can put lines 1 and 2 of our tablature together. Okay, getting started with the 1 chord B7, nice and slow. 1, 2, 3, 4, B7, E9, B7, B7, sharp 4, the 4 chord, E9, F diminished, back to the 1, B7, D sharp, G sharp. Okay, now we're gonna finish up the progression with line number 3 of our tab. Should sound like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Okay, so very simple. We're gonna have that minor 7 chord shape again. This time for the 2 chord, a C sharp minor 7. So we're just putting that shape on the 9th fret. 1, 2, 3, 4, comping. All right, next we're gonna play the 5 chord. We're just taking what we had for the 4 chord, up 1 whole step, and playing it as an F sharp 9 chord. Okay, so you have the 2 chords, C sharp minor 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, F sharp 9. And now we're going to go through 2 split measures where we're just calling back to some of the other chords that we've played previous in the progression. The 1 chord, 1, 2, the 6 chord, it's that G sharp 7 flat 9. All right, back to the 2 chord, And then finishing up the progression, we're going to throw in the flat 9 version of the 5 chord. All right, so there's the root of our 5 chord. That intense note right there is the upper neighbor for the note that we're going to have inside. The 1 chord for the resolve. It sets up the resolve of the progression. Very important detail. Okay, so we're just applying that dominant 7, flat 9 chord shape to the 5th interval. All right, you have 2 beats there before going home to the 1 chord, B dominant 7. Okay, all of line 3 should sound like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, F sharp 9, B7, G sharp, C sharp minor, F sharp, dominant 7, flat 9, and then the resolve. Okay, now let's play through the entire progression. You can practice this throughout the week, nice and slow. 1, 2, 3, B7. To the 4 chord. Back to the 1 chord. The 1 chord. The 4 chord sharped. The 4. Passing chord. Back to the 1. The 3. The 6. The 2. The 5. The 1. The 6. The 2. The 5. Altered. And back to the 1 chord. Okay, so practice that nice and slow and methodically throughout the week. Some of you might not have the level of experience necessary to learn this entire progression and all these chords in one sit-in. So I recommend that you learn each chord individually first, and make sure that you're learning this progression in small chunks rather than tackling the entire thing at once. Now, another tip that I have, just for fretboard awareness and also seeing the connection between the chord progression and the scale, is just to practice the progression using just the bass notes. So if you're playing through the progression, it would sound like this. 1, 2, 3, 4 to the 4 chord. Back to the 1. The optional passing to the 4. Passing chord, and back to the 1. The 3, the 6, the 2, the 5, and the 1, the 6, the 2, 5, 1. Okay, a great way to practice the progression, and also a really great way to quickly transpose it too. All you need to do is move that to a different fret to reveal where you would need to move these chord shapes to in order to play it in that key. I hope you enjoyed this lesson. Keep practicing, and let me know what you think in the comment section down below.